Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to review The Falcon and the Winter Soldier Episode 5, Truth. Now, Episode 4, I've made multiple videos. I've already made 2 videos about, which was crazy. Got a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people talking about John Walker, and a lot of people talking about whether or not what he did was wrong. I got a lot of good people in the comment section talking about it. I'm loving the conversation that's happening in the comment section. Guys, keep that up. Thank you for, coming and talking about this, because I enjoy talking about this, and I'm glad I got other people who enjoy talking about this too. But episode 5, the truth takes place immediately after John Walker just murdered that Flash Smasher. It seems like he ran from the scene of the crime, found an abandoned building and went into it. And when he went, and while he was running and while he was, in the abandoned little building and thinking that, had time to collect himself, it was one of those situations where the adrenaline was pumping. When he was killing that Flag Smasher, the adrenaline was pumping, everything was going. It was like as if he was in a trance and he didn't quite realize what he had done until he had the time to sit there and actually think about it. And it started dawning on him what he had done. On some type of level deep down, he knows what he did was wrong because it's bothering him. He just lost to Lamar. He's having flashbacks to Lamar. And I love how one of the flashbacks... I love the smash cut because when they're cutting between the flashbacks he's having to Lamar, one of the cuts was to Lamar saying, "You consistently make the right decision in the heat of battle." And as it smash cuts to him murdering this Flash Smasher, pretty much, in my opinion, kind of putting out there that on some type of level, even he knows what he did was probably wrong. So, on some level, he's thinking about it. But anyways, on some level, he's thinking about it. But he's sitting there, he's contemplating, he's thinking about it. He's really breaking down. He's down on his knees, just thinking about the loss of Lamar and what he did, and Sam and Bucky show up. Clearly, and, obviously, because they've been tracking him, because, Sharon was keeping track of where he was anyway, so it wouldn't be too hard for them to, it wouldn't be too hard for them to just follow him. He was on foot. And 2, Sharon's still tracking him. So there are multiple ways they could have found where he ran off to. But either way, Sam and Bucky do what Sam and Bucky does, which is Sam tries to de-escalate the situation. Sam tries to talk to him. Sam tries to go, "Look, man, what happened. It was the heat of battle. It was the heat of the moment. Look, you just need to turn yourself in. Just give us the shield, and it's funny. I love this little tidbit because it was a nice little touch. Because at first, when they were talking initially, Walker, John thought they were together. Because the first thing John says to them is, "You guys look like you're in bad shape. You guys need to go see a medic." Like talking as if they're on the same page, as if we're still friends, we're still teammates. Because throughout the whole course of the show, there's been this weird, and it feels kind of bad. I feel kind of God damn it, damn this show. It's making me feel kind of bad for John. Because there's a part of me because I've seen the episode twice, because I really love this episode. And there's a part of me that feels bad for John, because clearly he's that dude who's on the sports team, who's like on the high school sports team or whatever, who wants to fit in with a certain crowd of people, so he just hangs around that crowd of people and keeps talking to them like they're friends, but they're not really friends with this guy. And that's kind of the way he behaves when he was behaving right there, just like, "Oh, you guys look like you're in bad shape, we're still on the same team here." And they have to once they start talking about what he did, he starts kind of freaking out. "I did what I had to do." And Sam starts talking to he starts reconciling with him. And, for a moment there, Walker starts to actually sit back and think about it. But it's the moment that they say we need the shield that it was as if, for a moment, he had no choice but to think inward and be like, "Oh my gosh, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I did. Sam would know what he's talking about." And the moment Sam asked him for the shield, it was as if that immediately gave him an out to be like, "Oh no, this isn't about what I did. You just want to take the shield from me. I did the right thing. You just want to take the shield from me. I see what this is about." Because this is immediately what he did. "Oh, I know what's going on." And it was like he snaps, "You almost had me." It's like, okay, yeah. And he's found another place to go, another angle to go, to shift the blame from himself to something else. "Oh no, this isn't about what I did. This is about you guys trying to take the shield from me." And a fight happens, and it's an intense, brutal fight. I mean, it's an intense, brutal fight. I do not know why people are under the illusion that John Walker was Like, I've seen some people like, oh, they're just gonna just clap John, like, just beat the shit out of John Walker. I was like, I don't know about all that, man. Like they should handle him initially, but first of all, I don't think I talked about this before. Having Captain America's shield, like, boosts your freaking hand-to-hand combat skills up, like, exponentially. Because it's hard to get around the shield. First of all, that shield's pretty big. That shield covers about, that shield covers a lot of your upper body, or wherever you're, leaning. That shield covers an awful lot. And it's the ultimate defensive weapon, and in Captain America's hands, and in certain other characters' hands, it's the ultimate offensive weapon. The shield is versatile. Like I said, Captain America, I never actually valued a shield. I always thought the combination of a sword and shield looked kind of, I was like, that's cool and all, but I like it like it's just one sword. It's not until Captain America that I started valuing. Like, Captain America, though, like, I know it's kind of impractical, and, other things about real-life shields can't really do these things. But there's something about Captain America's usage of the shield that made me go, wow, man, shield, like, the way he uses it, the shield, is badass. And the way the Walker uses the shield is just on the same kind of level. They already showed that Walker could use that shield very effectively, even pre-serum. And the thing about it is, this is a man who has over like a decade of combat experience, and as a world-renowned soldier. I mean, he's basically like Rick Flag from DC. Oh, thought I heard something. He's basically Rick Flag from DC, who, very similar to John, was a world-renowned soldier, except he's leading the Suicide Squad, whatever. We'll see that movie in like a few months from now. But anyways, so I don't know why a lot of people thought he was going to get crushed. Like, a lot of people thought he was going to get crushed. A lot of people thought he was going to get his ass whooped, including John Campea. I don't know why he thought that. Because, like, he kept saying, like, a lot of people thought that he was going to get his ass kicked simply because of their experience of dealing with, like, aliens and dealing with certain things of that nature. And, Winter Soldier being such a long time, assassin for decades. But I often thought to myself, I was like, what does that really matter? I mean, if you think about it, Bucky was about to lose to Black Panther, who, sure, he's got vibranium and everything, but it's not like Black Panther has more combat experience than Bucky. And he lost to Captain America multiple times. So, it's like, it's just about the skill level. And really, like I said, that shield is just like, it elevates your hand-to-hand combat. And it was an awesome fight. It was a brutal fight. And it ended with them snapping his arm and taking the shield, which was pretty intense. But, and then the next thing that happens after that is, first of all, Sam's wings are torn up in the whole battle. So he can't use the wings he started off with anymore. That's pretty much totaled, setting up him getting a new suit by the end of the show. You don't see the suit at the end of this episode, but it's setting it up. This episode set up a lot. This episode did a lot of conclusions, a lot of setup, a lot of table dressing. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in this in this episode. But one of the most intense things that happened is Sam meets up with Isaiah Bradley again, and if the name of the episode's called Truth, and I did a review of a comic book called Truth about Isaiah Bradley, the quote unquote first black Captain America. And you really get into that a lot in this episode. It's like if you watch my video on Truth, Red, White, and Black, that story, which is a very it's pretty, like I said, that story is like something Spike Lee wrote, man. It's pretty in your face with the racial atrocities that were going on in that time period. And this is also in your face. I mean, quite frankly, like Isaiah just basically says he doesn't get he's like, man, I don't give a rat's ass about America. Like those colors never did anything good for me, And because Sam wants to see Isaiah and get his perspective on it because one of the big Roman concepts is Sam being afraid that America would not accept a black man as Captain America, which is a reasonable thing to think, honestly. And Isaiah just basically flat out came out and said that they will never let a black man be Captain America. And even if they did let a black man be Captain America, it was something along the lines of no self-respecting black man would even want to be it. Basically meaning, you become Captain America, you just sold out for a white man. That's basically what he said. That's basically what he was saying. And but that's just a perspective. And Sam kind of, because when you hear the story, when you hear how he basically did the same thing Captain America did when he had a super soldier serum, except he did not get the same results because he was a black man, it does kind of add, it does kind of go, you know what, I understand why you feel the way you feel, Isaiah. And Sam pretty much says that too near the tail end. But when he first initially heard that, he had to think about it. He really did, because like he really had to come to terms with why I should pick up this shield. So he wanted to go back home, spend time with the family, readjust his mind, and come to the conclusion of if he wants to be Captain America or not. Now, meanwhile, John Walker's on trial. And it did not go the way a lot of people thought it was going to go. He got stripped of his title. He got stripped, like he is like basically completely kicked out of the military. He has no benefits or nothing. He is just like cold turkey. They just like booted him out. It's like something along the lines of anything but honorable discharge. Like, I was like, that's a thing? I thought you had to like be, I thought you had to like say, you know, I thought it was like a specific kind of discharges you could get. I didn't know you could just be like, I don't care what it is, but it better not be honorable. I was like, I didn't know you could do that. And John, once again, as this show brings up a lot of social topics, John has an outburst in the scene where he talks about how they made him who he is. They trained him to be this killer. Basically, you trained me to be a killer. You trained me to do the things the way do this the way I've been doing this, and I did it well. You built me. You made me this way. Which, once again, is a touchy, well, not maybe a touchy one, but that's another social topic of how certain things in America, how certain people in America are trained to be certain ways, and then when stuff happens, when you have certain shootings, when you have certain things go down, like the officials want to just kind of like look around and go, well, it's either they want to just go, oh, it's them, it's a isolated event, or they just don't want to even acknowledge that they might have had a hand to do with it, you know, at all. They're just like, oh, that was just an isolated event, or oh well, you know, stuff like that. Because in this case, it's funny because it's kind of worked double ways, because if they had forgiven him and just like said, oh, and gave him a slap on the wrist, that would have been terrible too. But it's the way they went about punishing him, the lack of accountability by, you know, the government right here in this scene, that made that ring so true to real life things. Because that's probably how that would go down. Either they'd give him a slap on the wrist, or they'd put complete and utter all the blame on him, no matter how much they had to do with it. No one's losing their job. And, you know, and that's pretty much what happened here. And in this, the very next scene they introduced, I'm not going to say her whole name, because I don't know her whole name, but Madam Hydra, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I think that's her name. I think that's her full name. Lady from Seinfeld. She's in Seinfeld. She was in she's been in a lot of things. Multiple award winner. She's been around for a while. Like I said, she's been in she's one of the main cast of Seinfeld. She was on some other shows on HBO that I heard were pretty good too. She shows up and she's playing a version of Madam Hydra. And it is very clear in this scene that they are setting up the Thunderbolts. Now, I have fought that idea because I was like, I don't know if they're doing that. I mean, it would make sense to do that, like, because like you done did the whole individual villains things, and you've done the individual villains with armies things. So the next step is to do a villain team. So, but it is clear that they're setting the Thunderbolts off, especially when you see what happens with Zemo later on in the episode. Which Zemo, you know, and Bucky have this confrontation where, you know, Zemo's talking to Bucky, and, you know, essentially the whole conversation was really about Bucky letting go. It was about Bucky letting go of what he felt for Zemo, and Zemo basically giving him permission to let that put that down, because Zemo just said, like, I never held any ill will towards you or anything. You know, it is what it is. I know what kind of person you are. And honestly, Zemo was gonna let Bucky kill him. He was gonna let Bucky kill him, but when he didn't, you know, he was just like, you know what, I crossed my name off that list. You know, me and you, there's no beef between me and you. I'm sorry for what I did. You know? And he forgave him. They forgave each other. And Wakandans, the Dome Milaje, took him away. They're going to bring him to the raft, which the way they shot that, and when they immediately, like, if they would have said Wakanda, I'd have been like, oh, you're never going to see him again. As soon as they said the raft, I was like, oh, I know what's going to happen. Because you know John Walker's not going to die, and he's going to go take it to the raft, too. Like, I know that they're setting that Thunderbolts up. But yeah, but then there's this, like, there's this great thing that I know a lot of people aren't going to be fans of because they want the high action and go. But there's this great sequence where, like Sam is just like, while he's trying to contemplate, what's important to him now, because he's trying to find a reason to be Captain America. Because after that conversation with Isaiah, he doesn't really have a good reason to be Captain America. But in working with his community and fixing his boat and working alongside Bucky and his sister to fix this boat up, he kind of like was reminded of what's important to him. He was reminded of why he should be Captain America, why I should take this title up, because the title means more than... Actually, there's so many people who don't want Sam to be Captain America because they look at it as people look at it as, why do you have to take this title? Why do you have to be this thing? You're Falcon. Isn't that good enough? You're Falcon. The thing about it is, it's not about that. What Captain America represents in America is something completely and utterly above whatever Falcon represents. With Captain America, Sam Wilson being Captain America, Sam Wilson, a black man being Captain America, and taking it to a new height, quite literally and metaphorically, means so much in the MCU world and will mean so much on the outside world. There will be young black kids who will grow up seeing an African-American Captain America, and it won't be even an odd thing that the hero that represents America is a black man. And it means more like basically this whole episode was just him finding justification, him finding his reason to do this. And it means more than just, we're gonna give Sam this shield, we want a black Captain America. In universe and in the real world, this means something more than just a title. It's more than just, oh, make your own legacy. Because I see so many people saying, I'm like, no, it's not about that. The Captain America legacy, like it means something. It will always mean something. Like, Sam's not gonna get his own section in the Smithsonian. But Falcon's not gonna get his own section in the Smithsonian, nothing like that. But the title, what it means, and for a black man to hold it, will mean so much more, and it will be so much more impactful in the universe. And Sam came to that conclusion, and eventually he started training with the shield. Now, a lot of people think that you have to be a super soldier training with the shield. I've already talked about that in a previous video. You do not. As far as I can tell, as hard as the shield picks up steam, the more it bounces. But, it's just like any other thing you throw. Like, the harder you throw it, the harder you throw it, the harder it goes. And, you can only go as hard, go as far as you can throw it. It's not like Sam has super soldier strength and he's throwing it, and it comes back at him. It's like, no, he's throwing it at his own pace. And the thing about it is how you catch it, which is a crazy way to catch the shield. Either you got to catch it like this, or you got to get your arm inside of the little sleeve thing that's like on the other side. There's like this little like scraps things that you have to like get your arm in the scrap when you throw it. You got to get your arm in the scrap. So, but like I said, because they're casually kind of throwing, they put a little force into it. Like, the thing's extremely aerodynamic. Like, that thing gets air, like, very easily. It gets air very easily. It just depends on how hard you can throw it and how quickly it can come back to you. It's a frisbee, dude. It's a giant frisbee. It's a giant vibranium frisbee, dude. So, I wouldn't even worry about the whole him throwing it thing. Because some people are going to make a big deal about that. How can he do that? He's just a dude. It doesn't really matter. Dudes can throw the shield too. It's just no one can throw it as hard and as accurate as Captain America, but other people can throw the damn thing effectively. But great little training montage of him getting in shape. We finally get Dr. Leaper returns, and it seems like the Flash Masters are gonna make one final move to kill all the council members of the GRC, murder them all. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier have to stop them. It set up the last episode, the finale, perfectly. It put all the pieces together. Sam and Bucky had a heart-to-heart that was beautifully done, that really just laid it all on the table. It just really put out there why Sam was the right choice for Captain America, because he's just such an understanding person. He's juggling all these people. He's talking to all these people. This episode was Sam's episode. It was Sam's episode to shine, and he shined bright. I loved it. I had a great time with this episode. It was the most down-to-earth episode since episode 1, and I dug the fuck out of episode 1. I'm gonna give this one a 9.5. Not quite. I dug episode. I think it's about the same. I don't know if I dig this better or the last episode better, but there's so much in this episode that I was just because the last episode had some great stuff in it, but the last shot was just so amazing. The last 10 minutes was just so amazing that it was like, oh man. But this episode, there are just repeatedly things throughout that are really good and really fun. And like I said, I see some people kind of angry that I was like, oh, why isn't it just moving? Well, I didn't want to see why does it stop for them to do that? I'm like, I actually like that, to see them just settle down and be more human. And like he said, like Like, that's what happens in real life. Like, in usually in movies, when there's supposed to be a pause, they just cut to the next day, or they just cut to a couple days later, and they keep it going. But, you know, they're just like, well, we got the time to sit down, you know, I mean, they're gonna make a move. It's not exactly like we can go fucking looking for, that's exactly like I can just, when I fly around looking for them, I can't really do anything right now, so, except, you know, figure out my own shit. Now, there's nothing to distract me from having to sit down and actually think about my own problems. And that's what I dug about this episode. So thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.